Hello again, beautiful people, and welcome to part two of our interview with the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza, who was basically overthrown. He was overthrown from power during the Iranian Revolution in 1979. But here he is to set things straight. So if you missed part one, please go look for that and check it out. All right. Thank you for coming back, and thank you, Erik, for helping us here. And thank you to Courtney Dillon, whose information is in the box below, but will also be on a splash screen. So Iran was so much more modern and industrialized when you ruled as the Shah. Women and children were treated better then too. Do you see Iran ever returning to those days? We kind of talked about it being sometime between 2032 and 2030-ish to 2042. Is that pretty much the answer, or would you like to add to that?
I most certainly see Iran returning, but in a more balanced way.
Yeah.
And I see these dates as likely at this moment. I do not agree or condone with the abuses of power currently, and do not agree with the way women and children are being vilified and abused. It is important to understand my position is one of support for my people.
Yeah.
And I remain steadfast with my people, even from this side.
Okay, awesome. Are you and your father, Reza Shah, able to help spiritually move Iran away from the current oppressive ruling regime back to where you had them? I mean, are you able to do anything on that side?
I am working tirelessly to bolster, and it's like he's giving energy to some resistance groups.
Oh, good.
Yes. So,
Good.
and there are political figures who's showing me a man in, it must be his early 30s. He's not giving me his name, but it's like underground political resistance. And there are meetings that are in secret and underground that are happening right now to resist the oppressive rule. So he is helping, but he wants to emphasize that it's important to understand that a new government will not return at all to the old ways. It's almost like he wants a new government to be created.
So not a monarchy. That's one of the questions. Should it reinstate a monarchy? You're saying no.
No, he disagrees with that, but he wants there to be a new structure and a new government created that it has democratic principles.
Good. So do you have any comments about Obama and Biden having a policy of like appeasing Iran, like wanting the nuclear deal, and then when Biden is president, he lifts sanctions so that they get more money to fund these terrorist proxies?
I do not
have dirt on them at all. I mean, why are they appeasing them and throwing Israel under the bus?
So it's interesting when you said that question. He's not going to say, but he smiled, kind of like yes, is the answer, I believe. He nods his head sort of like that, just a little nod. And okay, let me see what he wants to say. He does not, I disagree with these policies and feel they are not in the best interest of the people whom I serve to this day. This is not at all positive because it does not support my people who deserve freedom, just as the people in your country can so freely move about.
So why do you think this current administration, or are they choosing Iran over Israel, our greatest ally, and democracy ally?
It is difficult for me to say why with certainty, but I believe that there are deals and understandings that come in the form of a wink and a nod behind closed doors to support the rights of minerals and oils in this part of the world. It is important to understand, and as the saying goes, follow the money. This endeavor will open the eyes to many, and they will begin to understand the economic policies of the United States.
Yeah. So are you saying that this administration has an appeasement type strategy with Iran because of money, oil, and minerals and all that? Or is there also extortion possible? Like somebody in the Iranian government knows some bad stuff about some of the politicians here, or is it both?
I would suggest the likelihood of all these possibilities, although I cannot speak definitively.
Okay, that's diplomatic. Okay,
he's smiling though.
I know. It's like a Cheshire cat. What was or is the spiritual purpose for the revolution in 1979 and the continuation, this is a good one, of this strict oppressive regime today? What's the spiritual purpose, the contract?
I can speak to my spiritual purpose if that's helpful. I believe if I can view this from a perspective that is different from my own, that the spiritual purpose remains of the importance of truth and justice and liberation, of seeing all people as brothers and sisters under one flag. It is important that the people of the world view each other in this way. And I can say, unfortunately, that I did not always view my people in this light, but got caught up in the misgivings of others and found myself, and he's smiling, too big for his britches.
Oh, all right. So, Erik, can you comment on the spiritual contract with this, the fall of during the revolution and the current continuation of an oppressive regime? Is it to highlight that, wow, freedom is powerful? Freedom is it trying to convey the contrast?
Erik's talking, and he says it's to remind people that they are already free.
Oh, wow.
When a group of people finds themselves in difficult circumstances or oppressive circumstances, you can remind yourself of internal freedom, and also there's a way in which this is a lesson in freedom. There's also something, and I don't really understand this part. Hold on a second. He's taking it. I have no idea that this was going to be going on today. He's taking us back to Atlantis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's some connection here with the fall of Atlantis.
Oh, wow.
Like the power struggle and the dynamic, and it's also mirrored in some of what we're experiencing in the United States. It's like this story in Atlantis, what's now felt by some people as a myth, but something that actually happened, is like it's playing out in different parts of the world, like these power struggles. And it's in order for us to re-script or rewrite that experience on the massive toll of the human scale.
Yeah.
So
same with the Roman Empire, the fall of the Roman Empire. We just keep making the same mistakes as a collective over and over again. It's irritating. What will it take to stop fundamentalists from oppressing women and sponsoring terrorist organizations like Hezbollah? Well, you already talked about you're helping, you and your father, hopefully, are helping the resistance movements that are underground. A shush. But
They
anything else you want to
will,
add to that?
this will take time, but mostly it will take the courage of the people to rise up and say, no more. I will accept this no more.
Mm.
This will happen. This will happen. And I stand with you during that moment. It is important to know that death is not something to be feared.
Mm. Yeah.
It is important to understand that the courage to say no more is powerful.
Okay. Were
It gave
you
me chills as he said that.
Oh wow. Were you a ruler in Atlantis?
I have served as a ruler in several key moments in history. But he's showing me he's like a reluctant ruler.
Yeah,
He
sounds like
doesn't
it. Yeah.
he doesn't really want to be this necessarily, but he kind of finds himself over and over in these roles. So it's
Why? You thought it was a good idea at the time when you were planning your incarnation?
he said, good question. Like he doesn't know. Why? I've chosen to understand the soul's he's saying greed for power. So there's like something about greediness for power that he has to learn about, and he has to learn work through that in a
Okay.
so he's saying he kind of did, kind of didn't, I guess.
Okay. You'll get there. What did you know about the ancient races and technologies in your country? That's interesting. I know nothing about that. Did you know anything about that? The ancients?
No, he did when he was alive. No, he didn't know anything.
What are your religious beliefs, and did they follow you to the afterlife?
To be honest, I did not hold strong religious beliefs as some thought I did. I believed very much in the voice of God.
That spoke to you from 5 years old on. Yeah.
I believed very much in the mystical powers of the universe and held reverence for these powers.
Yeah.
I see now that the way I viewed things was and is correct mostly, but it's like he kept a lot of this. He didn't. It's not like he would go around and share this with a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like it. Did you believe in an afterlife? Life after death?
Yes.
Okay. Have you met my great uncle that operated on you yet, or will you?
They have met.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have met.
If you could speak to your countrymen, I think you already covered this. What would you say to them today?
When I speak to the citizens of this great country, I say that I am with them in spirit. I support them in their quest for freedom. And I apologize for the error of my thinking and the ways in which I failed them. For I failed them in profound ways, and I regret this now.
So what percent of the current Iranian population do you think is not for the mullahs, for the current regime? Maybe the older generation is all for it. I don't know. Probably not the younger.
He's showing me the number 85, so it's about 85%.
Against?
Everybody against, yeah. But it looks like they can't do anything about it.
No, it's so weird because they're so massive population. You just got, but they have the military, so the mullahs. So
Mhm.
what do you think about what happened with Hamas on October 7th, just killing so many and burning babies alive and all that in Israel?
I do not support any state-sponsored terrorism and very much disagree with this this atrocity. Yeah.
So what do you think the spiritual reason for that is? And another thing I want you to comment is why, even though that happened to Israel, why are we having these anti-Israel protests on college campuses and really all over the world? Like, it doesn't make any difference that women got raped and children burned alive. It's like, oh, down with Israel and yay, Hamas. What is going on? Everything's upside down.
This is a difficult and complex situation.
And Erik, if you want to also add afterwards, yeah, from your perspective.
And one that I must speak about with great care, for there are many who are suffering right now.
Yeah.
And it is important that we all acknowledge
on both sides.
Suffering on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was about to say that. Suffering and killing on both sides is not of benefit to anyone. It is important we understand that there is a complex and multi-layered history, and there are deals behind closed doors that are happening even now as we speak. I do not say these words lightly, but I stand with those who suffer.
Yeah, on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you were the leader of Israel and this had happened to your people, like the October 7th thing, how would you have reacted?
It is difficult for me to say with certainty.
Yeah.
From this perspective, I do not believe. It's like he's showing me that he would have acted a certain way. I believe I would have acted in a similar manner, but I do not agree or support the sustained violence.
Yeah.
And starvation.
Terrible.
That is currently occurring.
Do you think Israel could do better avoiding that? I think so.
Absolutely.
All right. What did you think about Trump's Abraham Accords? I mean, it seemed like we were finally getting Middle East peace.
I supported this.
Yeah.
He shows me he is in all of those major talks. Yes.
Good. Yeah.
I supported this and felt that actual progress was being made.
Yeah.
I continue to support this, but unfortunately, I do not see that this will create a lasting and sustained impact.
Yeah. Well, I think the current administration dismantled it. I'm not sure. So if Iran didn't hate Israel so much and sponsor these terrorism proxies, do you think that's the answer to the Middle East having peace finally? Or is that not going to be enough?
Unfortunately, I do not believe this will be enough to solve the challenges that we face in the Middle East. But I do believe that the dismantling of any state-sponsored terrorism is a certain step in the right direction.
Yeah. All right, just a couple more questions. We already talked about lifetime affected this one, right? As you were rulers at various times in history. Any more comment on that?
The fall of Rome was a difficult place to be.
I bet. Do you think Iran will use a nuclear bomb on Israel or vice versa? I mean, Erik, what's the quantum probability of that?
It doesn't look likely at the moment.
Yeah, good. I don't think so either. They don't dare. All right. Last one. Do you plan on coming back? If so, what country will you come back to?
I am he's kind of has a sweet sense of humor that you have to subtly pick up on. He's in talks at the moment
Okay.
to come back. Where would you come back? He's interested in the United States, actually.
Oh, I had a feeling. Would you want to be a ruler or a politician in the US?
Yes, most certainly.
You just never learn, do you? I'm kidding. All right. Well, thank you. Anything else you, Courtney, want to ask, or Erik, if you want to ask anything before we close up?
He has some remarks.
Oh yeah, final remark, please. The floor is yours.
I want to thank you for listening to me today, and
It's been an honor.
Yes. Extend heartfelt gratitude to my people.
Yeah.
Know that I am with you during this time, and I stand with you in support of the opposition as it rises. And he's thanking you, Elisa, also for speaking with him.
I didn't hear that last sentence because Lucas.
Oh, he says he's thanking you, Elisa.
Oh, well, you are so welcome. And Erik, anything you want to say or ask?
Erik's saying he thinks we covered it.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you very much.
SHAH of Iran. Thank you, Courtney. And thank you, Erik. I love all of you guys.
Thank you.
Subscribe.
Have a good day. All right.
You bet. And you watch part 1 too. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.